The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys StoryLine with Nick Eatman.
What is up? It is Cowboys StoryLine. It is time to do this thing. It's Tuesday, November 28th. The Cowboys taking on the Seahawks this week. Short week, so it's a Tuesday. The people in the building will tell you it's a Friday, but it's definitely a Tuesday. We got a game on Thursday here in a couple of days. Cowboys trying to get to 9-3. Obviously chasing the Eagles, but the best way to do that is just keep stacking up wins. That's all they can really do at this point. And I want to hear from you guys. 888-855-2297. I'm sure you want to talk about Shaq Leonard, the free agent linebacker. He's in the building right now. That sounds like that. I've heard a drop from that before from Will Ferrell. But no, he is in the building. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Jerry Jones talked about it on 105.3. The Fan said that he doesn't think money is going to come down to the deciding factor in this, which is kind of hard to believe because it always seems to be the deciding factor. But I think for him, it's a fit of where he wants things to be. One thing that'll help here is, we got a good question yesterday, and I just didn't have the right answer because I didn't know on his relationship with Stephon Gilmore. Apparently it's pretty good, though, because Gilmore talked about him as a friend and said he's one of my better friends that I've ever had in the league. Also, Malik Hooker has known him for a long time, obviously, with the Colts. They were together for a couple of seasons there. So, he's got some ties here at the end of the day. I don't know how much that matters. It's got to be a good fit for him, for this year, maybe down the road as well. But he's here now, and I don't know of any other scheduled visits. There's talk about the Eagles having interest. I'm sure they do. Some other teams as well. But Cowboys are first up, and if they say the right things, then he doesn't leave the building. Maybe he never does take another visit. So who knows? But that's where we are right now. Let's get to the phone lines. Let's start it off here. We got Greg. He's in Columbus, Ohio. Greg, what's up?
Hey, Nick. Been watching you for a long time, and
all right.
I became a Dallas Cowboys fan. I believe it was 1977. Is after Tony Dorsett's rookie year, he came to a department store in Columbus to an autograph signing thing, and he had a big old fur coat on, and it was back in the 70s, But
it's pretty cool. Yeah,
it was pretty cool, and but I wish everything's going good and everything, but now it's December football, and I wish they would do a little switcheroo and feature Hunter Lemke as the Punisher, then bring Tony Pollard in to finish people off. I think, I'm thinking about Buffalo.
Yeah.
And those guys ain't going to want to touch this dude. It's going to be cold. It's going to be nasty. And it's going to be a time of possession type of game. I that's what I think. I think these smaller backs are getting pounded week in and week out, and I think bring some new blood in there and let this kid, he's an athlete. He's fast.
Yeah.
He's big. He's strong. And I think they should it seems like it would fit right into Mike McCarthy's DNA.
All right. Well, I appreciate the call, and that's the first-time caller there for Greg in Columbus, Ohio. So thank you for calling and leading us off here on a Tuesday. I've heard a lot of people have said that about Hunter Lemke, and they think that he's going to be a guy that could really help. I don't know if he's a Punisher-type runner yet. He's a big guy. I've said this a few times, and I'm a fan. I am a fan of Hunter Lemke, but I don't want to rush the thing. I don't think, he's not Daryl Johnston, right away. Remember, Daryl Johnston wasn't really himself until like the 4th season of his career. Like 1992 NFC Championship game was really the game that it was kind of like his coming out party, where I was like, all right, well, he's more than just a fullback and special teams guy. He can do a little bit more, and it takes us some time. And so I think that's the same with all these running backs. He's just trying to figure out what his role is. I think he's got a role, and maybe this is a good time to try it. I mean, this point in the season, mixing things up, and you are going to need to run the football. There's no doubt about it. You go up to Buffalo, you go Washington. There's going to be some times, maybe in the playoffs as well, where you're going to have to run the ball, and it's going to be tougher to throw it around. So I'm fine with that if it works, really. All right, let's go to our second caller is Travis. Travis in San Antonio, is that right?
Yeah. Hey, Nick, what's going on?
Not much. How are you doing?
I had a great Thanksgiving week. Go Blue. I just wanted to let you know that Michigan is being investigated again by the NCAA for stealing Ohio State souls. So we've got that going.
Just as we got a call from Columbus, Ohio. Not to say that he cares about the Buckeyes, but I would imagine everybody does over there. So I get a call from Columbus, and the second call is from
fair.
Michigan. That's fine.
I can't be brought down right now, so he can say whatever he wants. I'm good to go. I just wanted to say this. I don't know how many games you caught this week, but I know we've talked about it a couple times with the officiating.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's going to take a coach going NBA or MLB and getting thrown out of a game, but man, it is the Eagles call with the not calling the
horse collar.
Horse collar, yep. And then they missed that call, and they call him for intentional grounding, so a double whammy. And then I'm not a big Brandon Staley fan, but I watched that late hit on Herbert. That was the moment where I said I would have broke my headset, cussed out the head official, and just lost my mind and got thrown out. It's going to take something like that to. I don't know what it's going to take, to be honest with you, but those two calls, you miss the first call, you miss a blatant first call, and then you penalize the team for retaliating, so something happened. But you didn't call. It's just I don't understand how it's that bad.
I guess I didn't see that Josh Allen got called for grounding on that same play that he did. He did.
Yeah. Yeah. So they missed that. They call him for grounding, so they lose a 15-yard penalty, right? And then they get assessed a loss of down, and it's just those two calls. So I don't know. That's that. I was happy. We played awesome again. Dak is in a great rhythm right now. I wanted to point out, and this is not I know it's been talked about, and it's not. I think there's a lot of great offensive coordinators, and to his defense, Kellen Moore is young. That's the part that, and I wasn't a big Kellen Moore fan, but that's not saying that he can't get better. I think he will get better as a play caller. But I think we are seeing a little bit of a difference in the way Mike McCarthy sets up plays. Mm-hmm. And I also think if you look at Kellen Moore, use a sports analogy as a pitcher, he has a great fastball, but my complaint was he never really developed a good changeup. He never really caught you off speed. His fastballs were great. He was on it. But I think you're seeing a little bit of difference in the nuance of Mike McCarthy having all this experience. He's just better at setting up things. And I think that maybe, we got to give him his flowers and say, hey, he's doing it. I think he's doing it better at moments of the game, and he's setting up things 5, 6, 7, 8 plays from when he's calling this one play. So I just wanted to see what you thought on that.
Yep. All right. Thanks for the call. What I like about that is that he's the head coach, so he's managing the game. I think sometimes as an offensive coordinator, and this isn't always a bad thing. This can be good and bad. Is that you're focused on. Hey, when we get the ball back, we're going to do this. We're going to get the ball. We're going to do this, this, and this, and this. And okay, that's fine. But, you can tell your offense that. But you got the ball back at your own 2-yard line. Or you got the ball back, after a turnover here almost in the red zone. So it's a little bit different sometimes. And I think as a, game manager, you can look at the ebbs and flows of it and go, all right, what I liked here in the first and second quarter is not what I like so much in the third and the fourth. And so, that I think it's that Jacksonville game from last year that really bothered McCarthy more than anything. It's just how the offense kept kind of calling a certain thing when you're up by 17 points in the third quarter with the ball. I mean, you should dial it up a little bit differently to go and win the game. That's why I say all the time, and I know people will argue with me this about, are you playing to win? Are you playing not to lose? And I always say it's the same thing. It really is. Playing not to lose is playing to win. In different times. It's all about how aggressive you need to be, but sometimes you don't need to be aggressive. You need to be smart. And I'm not. This isn't really about Kellen Moore. I just think Mike McCarthy's done a really nice job of managing the game and also play calling at the same time. All right, let's go to Skylar. He's in Washington.
Hey there, good to be on the show.
Are you there? Are you in Washington or Russia? Where are you?
Washington State.
All right.
We're about an hour and a half from Seattle, so I deal with all these Hawks fans all the time.
All right, what do you got?
Hating the Cowboys for no reason.
Hello. Are you there? Let's go, man.
Oh, God, I'm going to listen to myself later. It's going to be funny. What do you think about how the chances of them signing Leonard in the next couple days?
Shaq Leonard, okay. Yep. Sorry, it was hard to hear him. We had 4 calls yesterday, I think, from the state of Washington. They didn't sound like that. I don't know. Maybe he was out. I think he had the windows down. He was cruising down the highway. All right, Shaq Leonard, though. That's the story of the day, though. So good question for sure, because that's kind of where we are. What are the chances? I think they're pretty good. I mean, I think, it just depends on, if what the Cowboys feel like he's going to be able to contribute maybe down the road. And you don't have to have those things figured out right now, but I think he needs to be somebody that they say, hey, can he help us now? Yes or no? Yes. Does it make sense for us financially right now? Yes. Is this somebody we think we would want to sign next year? Probably. Okay, then if that's the case, then I think you try to get it done. You don't have to know the answer right now, but you just have to say, this could be a situation that it'd be a position of need. So when you factor all that in, I think Shaq Leonard will get here or is here. I think he will see what they have here. Obviously, facilities are top notch. And Dan Quinn, I think Dan Quinn would be a big selling point. Come here, because he's just a player's coach. I mean, it's what he is. He's just a dude. He comes in and be like, hey, what's up? And let's get in here. Let's get to work, and you want to play for him. So I think you factor that in. I think they have a really good chance. They're first up here. And, if he wants to go and play football right now, if that's what he wants to do, he's in football shape. He should be. If he wants to get it done and get on a team that has a chance to compete, here's a good one. I think the Cowboys are a top 5 team in the NFL right now. So why not join them, especially with the position of need? All right, let's go to Big Al in San Antonio.
Hey, happy holidays, bro.
How you doing?
Man, I'm still full.
All right. From food or from the Thanksgiving Day win, or both?
The win and the food, you know.
All right.
Hey, I want to go back to last week. I tried to get in last week, but I couldn't get in. So, but my favorite players, I got 3 of them.
All right.
Robert Newhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby Hayes. And Walt Garrett.
Who's your second guy?
Bob Hayes.
Oh, Bob Hayes. I'm sorry. I did not hear what you said. I thought you said Bobby A. I was like,
yeah.
Okay, Bob
I was
Hayes.
going to say the Bullet.
Yeah,
You would have knew who I was talking about.
Got it. Yeah, of course. Newhouse, Bob Hayes, and who your third one was who?
Robert Newhouse.
All right.
I mean, Walt Garrett. Walt Garrett.
Old school.
Yeah,
tough.
old school, man.
You like the rugged guys, but also the fast ones, too.
Oh, yeah.
I tell you what, Robert Newhouse, I mean, he's
yeah.
He's obviously not with us anymore, but man, he was the classiest guy.
Yep.
I loved him. He was so awesome when he worked for the Cowboys, and he was he just had so much wisdom. It was kind of surreal for me to actually be working with Robert Newhouse because I was a young kid and he was a player and all that. But man, he's one of my favorites. Man, we miss him. We definitely miss him.
Yes, he was. And the best football Thanksgiving game I've seen, I thought, was the Clint Lonely. That was an outstanding game.
Yep. I don't know if you guys heard last week, Brian Broaddus came in and told some stories and mentioned that he was at the game with his family and they left early and they missed it. They missed the game. They missed the end. So he doesn't. Well, I would say he doesn't do that anymore. I think he did it again for the Rangers, but it's okay.
Well, but anyway, I don't have no question. I just say go Cowboys.
All right. Appreciate
and we'll
that.
talk with you later, Nick.
All right. See you later.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate that. All right. Good stuff. We're going to go to Rob. He's in Vegas. Rob, what's up?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What was the give me 3 or 4 dishes that you had on Thanksgiving? What was the sides, the meal?
Let's see, fried turkey.
Oh, wow.
Which is so much better than regular. I can't believe it took me 30 years to discover it.
Well, fried anything is better than regular, right? I mean, for the most part, right? Except for pickles. Fried pickles, no, not the worst.
Stuffing, being Italian, lasagna. So it was a whole bunch of food. It was great. It was really a great Thanksgiving.
All right. So what do you got? What's on your mind?
Well, like or the previous call talking about Kellen Moore. The difference between Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy is one is a head coach and one's auditioning to be a head coach. Let's face it, every offensive coordinator, especially an ex-quarterback, it's in their DNA to throw the ball. We talked about this. It's not that we hated when he would call certain plays.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what you're seeing with Mike McCarthy. But honestly, I got to give a shout-out. Congratulations to Dak Prescott's girlfriend, Sarah Jane, because you see it clicked with Dak. Whatever it is, his personal life on the field, he's got it now. I mean, we kind of seen it with Tony Romo in 2014. He was a different quarterback. It just clicked, and that's what I see with Dak. The way he throws the ball, he's never thrown the ball this good with this much confidence. The ball comes off his hand. The spirals are tight. His mind's like he's got it now. And we would, and I would talk about him, and I would say, okay, he wasn't good. He's the least of my worries on this team. This guy could carry you away. He's like this, and I know fans are going to say, well, I want to see him beat Phil. Yes, I do too. I want to see him win in crunch time, but I also want to see Micah Parsons make a play in the playoffs. I want to see CeeDee Lamb. It's not just Dak. The guy that they're bringing in, this linebacker, if he's good against the run, you got to get him because we are still struggling.
Yes. Even
in the Washington game, we were giving up like 7-8 yards on first. Teams that we have to get through, Philly, San Francisco. If you're giving them 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3, we're in big trouble. So we still got to secure the run. But all
right. Well,
Thursday. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Good stuff. No, I mean it's good stuff. I'm making sure. Are you feeling okay, Rob? Because I mean, when you think about where things have gone here from the first part of this show, I would say 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, Dak's not it. Dak's not the guy. Now he's the least of your concerns. I mean, but that's a credit to Dak, and I don't know if I don't want to get into personal life. Is it his relationship or whatever? I think it's a lot of things. He's just playing really, really good football right now. But none of it matters really if they don't go win the games that count the most. We all know that. We know that. And if he doesn't play well, we'll have callers, and maybe even yourself, that have big picture evaluations of Dak. But right now he's playing great, and and I appreciate the call. I appreciate you saying, hey, it is what it is. I mean, when it was bad, you said it was bad, and now it's really good. And you're saying it's really good, and that's what I think all fans should be. Just be down the middle, and just let the TV or the game tell you where it is. You don't have to have a preconceived notion of what you want to think. And I appreciate the call, honestly. All right, All right, thank you, Rob. I know we were having a little bit of issues there, anyways, but good call, and I mean that. I really do. I mean, he's one of my favorite callers because he'll challenge me. He challenges a lot of Cowboy fans. He doesn't just tell you what you want to hear, but when it's good, it's good, and when it's bad, it's bad. I mean, that's the way it is. I know he's from Vegas. I don't think he's from Vegas, though. Obviously, just listening to him, I think he said before he's from New York, and that's kind of the mentality that you kind of have. I mean, the same with those. A lot of fans from the Northeast, you just kind of see it that way. Hey, it's good when it's good, and when it's not, it's not, and they'll tell you. And sometimes, in a way, you kind of appreciate it, really. All right, let's go to Arthur. He's in Spring, Texas. Arthur.
Good morning, Nick. How are you, sir?
How are you?
I'm doing well. Getting back to listening to the podcast, and your show is rapidly shooting to the top because at least you give the fans the opportunity to say a few things.
Thank you.
There are some times that, well, for the most part, most of the time, Cowboys fans, that star might as well be a bullseye because everybody takes a shot at it. It doesn't matter whether it's the fan base or whether or not it's other teams. I'm of the mindset as far as the team itself is concerned, is take each game week to week, play your best, and move on to the next one. Because you're going to get criticized whether you do a good job
right,
or whether you do a sloppy job.
That's true.
I was kind of listening to some of the other sports-related shows on TV this morning, and they were chatting about DaRon Bland. Well, do you guys realize he gave up 120 yards on? Okay, I'll take one pick six over that nonsense any day of the week because the fact that the commander that got those catches, he didn't get in the end zone not one time. So as far as I'm concerned, DaRon did his job.
Yeah.
And because of his youth, they're not going to give him any kind of break. They're pushing this narrative now about him. Well, it might be just a fluke that he's gotten this far. They can say what they want. I don't. Based on what I've seen, DaRon Bland, he doesn't have the personality he doesn't have that me personality.
No.
And I seriously think that everything that he does, he's doing for the betterment of the team. And all I can say is keep doing what he's doing.
Hey, Arthur, let me ask you this though, because I don't know if I don't hear all the narratives. I hear some of it, and some of it's stuff we hear here in the building. Do you think he's the best defensive player on the team?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Is he having the best season?
He's one of many.
Yeah. Is he having the best season of any player on the team on defense?
I would say if he's not at the top, he's right near it.
I agree with that. And I'm having to kind of come full circle on this as well because, I've kind of said, hey, I don't know if he's Defensive Player of the Year. And I say that because I don't know if the voters are going to give that to him because it's not about a record that you have to go get yourself. You have to get the voters, 50 of them, to agree that he is the best. But I think he's having the best season. How could you not ignore those numbers? You can't ignore them, and so he gives up some yards. I mean, he's not shutting down the field. We know this. Okay, This is not Dion. That's okay though. That's okay. They're still throwing at him, and they're getting burned. So my mom told me the first time, don't touch the stove. I did it. I was at a hibachi grill. I was about 6 years old. Don't touch that grill, and I did it, and it burned me. Guess who's never done it since? Me. But these quarterbacks keep throwing at him. So, what? If they're not scared, fine, because he keeps scoring touchdowns. So maybe they should be.
That's exactly it, and I'm with you 100% on that.
All right.
And there's no lesson about lesson. Appreciate the call.
All right, thanks. All right, Arthur, Spring, Texas, good stuff. All right, we get another caller in. I do want to say one thing, though. Chris Beam, our producer, just pointed out, I did see it this morning. The NFL, the Hall of Fame, has brought down the finalists to 25 for the next year's class. There's 25. semifinalists, and one of them has actually been on the show a couple of times. That's DaRon Woodson. He was really close. He was a finalist last year, did not make it, and I think he will. I mean, I think he's going to get in. And I just scanned over the 25 names. It's not going to be this headliner class. There's going to be good, great players, of course, but there's really not these names that you're just, well, they have to get in. These first timers have to get in. I don't know if there will be a first ballot Hall of Famer, to be honest with you. So, and I think that helps, DaRon. And they if it's his turn, it'll be his turn. He'll get in. I don't think you get this far in the process and then eventually not get in. You see the pattern. Safeties are getting in. They're putting safeties in. And DaRon Woodson, I know the people that vote for the Cowboy, the Cowboys voters, the Dallas writers that are on that panel, they love him. Now, and who doesn't? And DaRon Woodson will get in if it's this year, maybe. But it would be great. Hopefully, I'm there when it happens. I would love to be there for him. All right, Adam in Virginia is our next caller. Adam,
how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Man, I'm excited, man. I'm a long-time Cowboy fan, man. I'm closer here to the Commanders, so I get a lot of flack for being a Cowboy fan. But I want to say, man, this is like the first time in a long time where, man, I'm in love with this team, man. I feel like just when you're looking at like the sideline videos that they put up and stuff,
right?
You can see they have like it's like a big family, man. It's
sure.
Like everybody's holding each other accountable. They, even when Dak after the San Francisco game, him and CD, they not really a problem, but they had their differences, and then you see since then, like, things have been on the up and up. I feel like, I don't want to say this, but I feel like this year it feels a lot different. It feels a lot different than other years where I just didn't know what direction the team was really going in. And I just feel real excited, man. I'm excited for the team, and not only that, I'm excited for the fan base as well. So
yeah. Yeah, and the thing is if they don't win some of these games against some of these great teams, people are going to say, well, this is just like what we've seen before. Beat the bad teams and can't compete against the good ones. But all you can do is just put yourself in a position here at 8-3. Think about it. They got 6 games to go. If they were to split these 6 games, you're 11-6. That'll get you. That's definitely going to get you in the playoffs. That's going to probably get you the 5th seed. And that's just if they split here. And I don't know if they'll do that. I think they'll be better than that.
I think they'll be better too, Nick.
Yeah.
I think that I really feel like the first part of the season where they had the little adversity, the 49ers and all of that type of stuff. I understand that, and I can understand fans being concerned. But I feel like ever since then, we've seen the 49ers. If we played them today, I feel like it'll be a totally different game because I feel like they've been playing totally different. I don't feel like the team has been playing the same.
Yeah. Well, and the biggest difference is they are forcing the ball to CeeDee Lamb. And it's not to the detriment of the other players. And the other players are getting big plays as well, but they are saying, we're going to get the ball to CD and we're going to see what happens. And it's some great stuff is what's happening. So good. Is this the first time call, Adam?
This is my first time call. I've been always trying to get in. I listen to every one of you guys' shows. Like I'm a diehard Cowboy fan. I'm gonna tell you this last part, and then I'm gonna get off.
Okay.
But this is how big of a Cowboy fan I am.
All right.
So my mother, she wasn't a big fan of football. Got her to start watching the Cowboys this season. She fell in love with DaRon Bland. She fell in love so much that she was at the Thanksgiving game on last week, experiencing the Cowboys feel. She's bought 4 or 5 jerseys. So,
wow,
man, we just, like I said, man, I've been a fan since '89.
Nice.
So
tough year to start being a fan, but that's nice. Yeah, that's great. Well, I appreciate the call, Adam. Thanks for joining us, and happy for you guys and your family. This is a good thing. You said something about the players cheering for each other, and you go back to Dak and CD arguing or whatever on the sideline, having a difference. it's the same with any coworkers, really, when you think about it. I say it to people all the time around here. You get into dust-ups with people all the time. But as long as your goal's the same, if you have the same goal, you want to be at the same place that this person does. You just have a different vision for that day on how to get there. That happens. But as long as the goal's the same, then I think you should be able to say, hey, at least you care. I care. Let's handle it different next time. Let's move on. And I think that's kind of what's happened, because I think you look at this team, they know what the goal is, and it is all the same. So it's pretty exciting. It really is. All right, let's go to break real quick here on Cowboys Storyline. We got some more questions and phone calls to take, but we're going to take a break. Be right back.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Cowboys fans, after that move, we've just coined the term Rowdy Replay. Let's roll back the tape.
Okay, there's our mascot Rowdy cheering on the boys. And now he's on his phone, on his Bank of America mobile banking app?
Staying on top of his finances with his virtual financial assistant, Erica.
Bank of America's digital tools are so impressive. Cowboys fans just can't stop banking. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/can't stop banking.
Erica is only available in the English language. You must download the latest version of the mobile banking app, only available on select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. Member FDIC.
Welcome back into Dear Doctor, the show where I answer life's questions with an ice-cold can of Dr. Pepper. Sheila, let's hear from our next caller, would you?
Dear Doctor, my friend supported me during a tough time, but what's the right gift that says, thanks for being a shoulder to cry on?
Okay, this one's easy. I say give her a delicious Dr. Pepper. Nothing says, thanks, girl, better than a one-of-a-kind soda. Yes, any Dr. Pepper flavor will do. Now, just a reminder that I don't need to be a real doctor to know that Dr. Pepper is the one you deserve.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag and Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag and Turf, the official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you. Back to Cowboys Storyline.
Go, Nick.
All right, let's get back to the phone lines here. We've got Maurice. He's in Tacoma, Washington. Let's get it going. Maurice, what's up?
Hey, Nick, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you? Do you know any Seahawks fans?
I mean, I know a ton of them, and I can't stand any of them.
What is a Seahawk fan like? Every fan has their own kind of, you can stereotype all fans, whatever. What's a Seahawk fan?
Well, I could tell you, I think for the Seahawks, one of their greatest enemies or one of the people that they hate on the most is absolutely the Cowboys, without a doubt.
Why? Because
there's something about the star that they just don't like. I have friends that are 49ers fans and, other divisional opponents that they would rather lose to them before they lose to the Cowboys.
Yeah. And also, again, we're talking about stereotypes, but I think the people that live in Seattle, maybe a different group a little bit, and as far as a Seahawk fan, was it raining all the time over there? It's got to be in a good mood. I don't know. I'm just saying it's probably a cultural thing too. Like, I'm tired of seeing the Cowboys. We see the Cowboys all the time, and that's probably the case for most fan bases. You don't necessarily, if you don't like them. If you don't like them, then you probably just dislike them. I don't think the Cowboys are really neutral to anyone.
Absolutely.
All right, what do you got, Maurice?
So my question for you, and this is really a fact check for me because I'm not absolutely sure, but who was the last Dallas Cowboy to win the Defensive Player Award? And before you answer, I ask that because I feel like just being a Cowboy alone, it's real difficult to win these awards because it's like I said, it seems like we have a lot of people that don't want to see us shine. It's like everybody outside of Cowboys fans wants to see us lose.
Right.
At least that's how it feels. So it's hard for a defensive player to win that award coming out of Dallas. And I was just wondering, do you know who it is? And does our guy Bland actually have a good shot?
Yeah. Well, somebody just mentioned it on the show yesterday. I didn't know this. I didn't really look it up. Harvey Martin, I think, has won it. At least that's what someone said on the show. And I believe that. That makes sense. Do I think he could win it? Again, like I just said, I've had to come around on this. And I've thought about it from a standpoint of the offensive player of the year, which is not the MVP. The offensive player of the year usually gives it to somebody with incredible stats that you just can't avoid. You just look at it and you're like, oh, wow, 2,000-yard rusher or, 2,000-yard receiver or something, just these stats that are just eye-popping. Well, if that's the case, then yes, defense, 5 interceptions for a touchdown is unheard of. We've never seen it before. So, yeah, I think from that standpoint alone, it's not saying he's the best player in the league. It's not saying he's even the best player on the team. He's saying he is the best defensive player of the year. And, if that's the case, then I'm all for it. Do I think he will get it? I'm not sure on that one because, like I said, you got to have 50 voters on there, and if you think there's something to the fact that people don't like to see the Cowboys do that, maybe. But these are the same 50 voters that unanimously voted Micah Parsons Defensive Rookie of the Year, because there was no other choice. You had to. He was that great. So if it gets to the point where if that's the way people feel about this, it's just tricky because. He, as I've said before, it's kind of, I made the analogy on baseball that it's almost like a pitcher who's having a really good season. He's having a good season with really good numbers, and then he's got 3 perfect games. And you're like, whoa! But is he having a great season all the way around? He's not really shutting down the field, but they keep throwing him the ball. Maybe he is doing this right. Maybe DaRon Bland's got it all figured out. I'll give up a couple of plays here and there, bait them in. Then when they feel comfortable, boom, interception. Most of these interceptions are coming in the second half, if I recall. I know the first one against the Giants wasn't, but I think the rest have been in the second half. Or maybe one right before halftime too. But later on in the game, he's kind of got it figured out. So maybe he's got us all played here. All right, Gerald is in North Carolina as our next caller. Gerald, what's up?
Hey, Nick, longtime Cowboy fan, longtime Nick Eatman fan.
Oh,
good to talk to you.
Appreciate that. Hey,
time caller.
Then that gets two. That gets 2. 2. There we go. If you're a long-time Nick Eatman fan, I appreciate that. That makes 7 of you guys. Appreciate that. Awesome. Kidding. What's up, man?
All right. I was thinking Pollard is doing well the last few games, but I still think we're missing the Zeke effect, where we're pounding defenses early, and then Pollard shined a little bit more later on with his quickness and versatility. And I was just wondering what you thought about that.
I agree with that. I definitely agree. It's not the order that I think works best. But sometimes we get caught up in who's starting, who runs through the fire in the starting lineup, who is your first on the depth chart and all that stuff, what they're paying him. But there's no doubt that the Zeke then Pollard was better for all of them, I thought. But they don't have that guy, I don't know if Dowdle is that guy. I don't know if they want to start him over Pollard. But yeah, there's different ways to do a change of pace back. I think there's different ways to do it. But I think that they miss having that the hammer to start things off.
Right.
What else you got, man?
I got nothing else, Nick. I appreciate your time.
Do you watch college football?
I do from time to time, yes.
I was going to say, who's your Heisman Trophy winner? But if you don't watch it, you don't watch it. But I was just throwing that out there.
I think that kid from USC, Caleb, I think he's probably going to lock it down. I do. Okay.
All right. Appreciate that. I think he's going to be number 1 pick in the draft. I definitely think that. Or he'll be up there for sure. I don't know about Heisman, I think he might have lost too many games, but he's probably going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. I always have a weird thing about the guy I think is going to win never wins. I don't know. Maybe I just have a different view of it. I feel like it should be somebody who's going to at least be one of the top picks. In the league, but this year is a little bit different. But kid in Ohio State's pretty good for me. The wide receiver, his dad I think was pretty good. Marvin Harrison, pretty good. His son is really good too. But I don't know. Good stuff though. Appreciate that. I don't know why I just randomly threw that part in there. All right, let's go to Scott. He's in Atlanta. Scott, you there, Scott? Uh-oh. Did we lose him? Don't have him. All right. See if we can call back. I think we got open phone lines at this point. Yeah. So 888-855-2297. If you said, I never can get in, right now, do it. Get on the line and call. Blow up the phone lines back there for Chris. Put him to work here for the next 8 or 9 minutes or so. I don't have any text line questions. The reason why I said that about the Heisman, and it's just it's so different. You talk about awards and MVP and things like that. It really comes down to like, what is the definition? What is your definition? What is the voters' definition of it? And defensive player of the year, is he the best defensive player? Is he having the best season? That kind of stuff. So that's why I like that they have a lot of voters, and they have a ton for the Heisman, like thousands, I think. So you get a pretty good mix of what people think and all that. And I always just feel like it should be the guy that is the best player. And I wish we could see a little bit more position players or even a lineman or something like that. Because there's like 8 different quarterback awards. There's like O'Brien, Maxwell, there's all kinds of stuff like that. But I'd like to see, just best player get it. And that's why that kid in Ohio State, I think, is amazing, Marvin Harrison. But who knows what they'll do. It's a fun debate, though. MVP in the NFL, Defensive Player of the Year, all that good stuff. I think Dak has a shot for MVP, but they're going to have to win games. They're going to have to beat the Eagles. They're going to have to beat their quarterback because like I said before, it hurts me to say it. I think he's the MVP right now because they just, he carries that team. And they carry him sometimes on 4th and 1. Scott in Atlanta. No, we're going to start. Sorry, Scott. We're going back to Scott. We'll go to Bruce in Houston. Bruce.
Hey, Nick.
What's up, man? How are you doing?
I'm good. Yourself?
Great.
Alrighty. Well, listen to everybody this morning. I love the upbeat. A couple of callers before. He said, I just feel something different about this year, and I do too. I really do. But then all the naysayers, well, you've done it against sub 500 teams, and you can't argue with them. They haven't done it. So these next 5 games, as we talked about, are crucial. I heard you say even if they split 3-3, I think they'll do better than that because the last game on the road is against Washington, and they'll be done by then.
I don't. You know what, Bruce? I don't think that game's going to matter. I really don't.
I don't think so.
I don't think the Cowboys will. I'll be surprised if they could catch Philly with tiebreakers, and I don't think anyone can catch them to jump them as the 5 seed. So I just feel like, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. And if that's the case, then don't play them the whole game, but don't sit them either, because remember they did that a couple of years ago, and then they came out flat the next team. Play them a half, that way they get, prepared like they're supposed to, and then let the second stringers go. My question to you, and I hope they sign this linebacker.
Sure.
Real quick question. Do you think if they don't let him out of the building, Jerry's pretty good about doing that, would he play? Is he football ready play, or is he a practice squad guy?
Oh, I think, that's a great question. I don't think he would play this game, for this one.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. Now, he was on a team, though. He was on a team, and he was playing games. He's played 9 games. So
he's in football shape.
He's in football shape. He should be.
Well, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
It might take him, and I hope they sign him and even possibly next year. I think he's 28. I didn't really look at all his stats, but he's still pretty good. But I know he's had some injuries. But my question to you is this: do you think our slot defender is on our team right now. You mentioned the other day Lewis might not be
for
back.
Next year.
If you do, for next year. If you do push out Bland, because I think he's proven to everybody I can hold this position down. You know, we always wanted to put him back in the slot, but the dude is just he's got a superstar in the making. So, do you think he's on the team like the guy they got from Miami? I don't know if he can play the slot or some of the other guys. Maybe you can talk about that, but. Because I want him to use a top 2 pick, if possible, on a solid running back so that we can play a more balanced team. But I'm looking forward to Thursday. If they take care of the home games and they beat the Washington game, that makes them 12-5, even if they lost against Buffalo and Miami. And the way Buffalo's playing, they may, I like my chances with them. But I'll hang up and listen.
All right.
Have a good day.
Okay, you too. A lot of stuff here. Cornerback on slot corner on the team next year. Don't know that. I'm not sure. Just because we've seen it several times here. Just because you're a free agent doesn't mean you don't come back. Cowboys have signed a lot of these guys back to 1-year deals. I think Jordan Lewis has been one of them. So, I think they could bring Jordan Lewis back if that's what they want to do. If he's one of their best corners. Just don't know what the deal is with Stephon Gilmore. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And you got to remember too, Trayvon Diggs will be back, but just remember what everyone said about Terrence Steele. It doesn't look the same. And he's not a guy that's running and cutting on his knee. So, I'm not saying that Trayvon will be the same. I'm not saying he won't. I think that they have to protect themselves and at that position. So we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. But to your point, DaRon Bland, I think, needs to be on the outside. That's where these interceptions are coming from. That's where he's making a lot of plays. He is definitely an outside corner. And, him and Diggs both figure out the inside because I think we're finding where he is playing his best. As for Shaq Leonard, we'll see. We'll see if Jerry and them can keep him in the building. If they like what they see, and what they hear. Maybe it's got to fit. It's got to fit for both sides. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And if he signs with another team and another team that's in this division, then that's what it's meant to be. Let's not forget he was a free agent. Let's not forget the Colts decided to cut him for nothing, and are paying him to not be on the roster. So there's more to it here. They don't feel like he can play. Then again, they didn't feel like Stephon Gilmore really could either, and he's played pretty well. So all right, let's go to Scott in Atlanta. Scott, are you with
Nick,
it? Good. How you doing?
How you doing today?
Is this
good, man? Great to talk to you. I've been listening to you for years on the break.
Awesome.
Now on this, yeah.
Is this a first-time call? Because you called 5 minutes ago and that didn't work out. So now we'll be at the second call.
Yeah, I guess it could be considered.
I'm
the
kidding.
Second time call.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. So hear me out. I got this crazy radical idea on stopping this push, and I wanted to get your take on it.
Okay.
Bring in the offensive line. Keep the linebackers and your safeties and your corners the same in case they decide to audible out of it. Bring in the offensive line, push them back, maybe line up Micah like he's going to be the quarterback and see which side wins. I mean, nothing else works. I mean,
you talk about for the put to go against the push. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So instead of having the defensive line, bringing the offensive line in.
Oh, okay. Okay, sounds good. Then this is what happens. Okay, then all of a sudden there's 12 seconds on the play clock. Then Jalen Hurts audibles out, gets back in a shotgun. They spread out everybody a little bit and they run a play. I mean, do you like Zach Martin's chances of beating, like the guard up the? I mean, I'm just saying the Eagles have got it figured out that they're running plays on top of that. So, yeah, if it was just one-on-one, me versus you, tug of war, let's see who can do it, sure. But that's the thing. The Eagles have been like 1 or 2 steps ahead. And as soon as you think you've got it figured out, then they run a play off of it. So, I mean, as soon as the offensive line went onto the field, the Eagles would get out of that. They'd be in a 3-wide shotgun, and then you'd be screwed. So, it's easier said than done. It's just very, very tough to stop. I don't know if anybody can stop it other than Roger Goodell.
Yeah, I hear you there.
Anything else, Scott?
No, that's all I had.
All right. Well, thanks for calling for the first time. Appreciate that. We got a lot of first-time callers today. This is good. It's good for us, and love to hear from the guys that call every day, and love to hear from you guys for the first time as well. So, all right. Good show. We'll be back tomorrow. Our schedule is obviously different this week with the game. We'll be back tomorrow. No show on Thursday, but we will be back on Friday to talk about it, see if the Cowboys can get to 9-3. But we'll be back tomorrow, and maybe we'll have some Shaq Leonard news as well. So for Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We will see you tomorrow. Cowboys Storyline. See ya.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?